In one sentence, Jesus revealed an aspect of his mission, his life, and the life of his followers. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Abundantly implies an overflow that is more than just enough to barely get by. Abundant living for Jesus was centered on spiritual things, but not narrowly focused on them. Growing up with Jesus is a holistic adventure. The Son of Man was a master of an all-encompassing art of living. Jesus was fresh, alive, down to earth, imaginative, original, spontaneous, creative, vividly expressive, good humored, and joyous. When he urged, "Be of good cheer," Jesus was likely revealing his own overall disposition. He also would have found this attitude in Proverbs. A merry heart does good like a medicine. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance and is a continual feast. We can enter into Jesus' joy by participating in experiences similar to his. The curiosity of the child in each of us discovers in nature much to appreciate. At least by his teens, Jesus would have known the changing moods of the Sea of Galilee, the reliable stability of the nearby mountains, and the pleasing appearance of fields, flocks, and watered gardens. Jesus rejoiced in the Creator's handiwork. He drew his disciples' attention to beauty in nature. Consider the lilies, how they grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these. In this context, to spin means to prepare thread for weaving cloth. In addition, Jesus delighted in observing how the Creator made provision for all living things. Consider the ravens. They neither sow nor reap. They have no storehouse nor barn, yet God feeds them. Jesus' appreciation for birds and other non-human animals suggests that they were not created merely for humans. Finally, Jesus' entire being manifested a naturalness that was grounded in being at home in nature. During much of his public career as a teacher, Jesus was homeless. He spent 40 days alone in the wilderness, spreading the message with his disciples. He walked all over Palestine and beyond. I add another figure. John Muir, 1838 to 1914, came with a family at the age of 11 from Scotland to the United States. After working on family farms and taking a few science courses at the University of Wisconsin, he set out on foot to travel to Louisiana, where he took a boat to San Francisco and then walked the 165 miles to Yosemite. He had long sought a soul-satisfying realization of divine beauty in nature, and there his quest finally found fulfillment. Eventually, he was led into action to share and protect what had nourished him so deeply. He would crystallize his observations, adventures, ecstasies, and concerns in articles and books that aroused appreciation for nature and mobilized national support for protecting wilderness in line with the aims of the Sierra Club, which he founded and led for the benefit of future generations of all species. Muir writes, "When I was a boy in Scotland, I was fond of everything that was wild. And all my life, I've been growing fonder and fonder of wild places and wild creatures. Fortunately, around my native town of Dunbar, by the stormy North Sea, there was no lack of wildness, though most of the land lay in smooth cultivation. With red-blooded playmates wild as myself, I loved to wander in the fields, to hear the birds sing, and along the seashore to gaze and wonder at the shells and seaweeds, eels and crabs in the pools among the rocks when the tide was low. And best of all, to watch the waves in awful storms thundering on the black headlands and craggy ruins of the old Dunbar Castle, when the sea and the sky, the waves and the clouds were mingled together as one. We never thought of playing truant, but after I was 5 or 6 years old, I ran away to the seashore or the fields almost every Saturday and every day in the school vacations except Sundays, though solemnly warned that I must play at home in the garden and backyard, lest I should learn to think bad thoughts and say bad words, all in vain. In spite of the sure, sore punishments that followed like shadows, the natural inherited wilderness in our blood ran true on its glorious course, as invincible and unstoppable as stars.